Hey guys, Pro1701 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing episode 1 of The Mine Robber. Now I'm breaking this down into episodes because I've never seen The Mine Robber before. This is my first time watching the story fully, and I kind of figured, especially with The Mine Robber having such a good reputation, because I did this with the Dominators as well, but the Dominators doesn't have a good reputation, but the Mine Robber tends to have a very good reputation with fans, so I figured some of you guys might want to kind of know my thoughts per episode as I'm watching it for the first time, just to kind of get my thoughts as I'm progressing through the story, especially since I really enjoyed episode 1. It took me a while to get into it, but especially that ending. I really love that ending. I like at the beginning how it picks up right after the Dominators, like right at the end of the Dominators, with the island and the volcano and all that, and them having to run inside and try to get away. And it's some great acting from all three of the cast. I like how serious Troughton's having to be here. He's not having to play dumb because it's companions. He's just being serious and in a hurry and trying to get everything working. The fluid leaks trying to overheat and the smoke comes up in the console, and him just going 90 miles an hour to get it solved, and having to use the emergency switch, but knowing the dangers of using the emergency switch. Despite the danger the TARDIS is in, him still hesitating, and Jamie having to kind of press his hand down on it because Jamie's like, we gotta get out of here. I love the actual shot of the TARDIS surrounded by the lava. That's a really impressive shot with the foam and everything kind of, so it's supposed to be lava, kind of just almost having it completely buried. It's a really neat shot. I found it really impressive. I like how well this story is realized. It has a very fantasy element to it, a very surreal feeling. That's a good word for it, very surreal. And I love the fact that it does stress to you that you're out of time. You're in a place that is outside of time. It's nowhere. You know, the Doctor, they're like, where are we, Doctor? We're nowhere. There's nothing out there. We are nowhere. It's just a void. I like when Troughton is very seriously, has a very serious conversation with Zoe about not going out there. When she's like, oh, I saw, Jamie saw Scotland and I saw my home city. And he's like, no, they're not there. Don't go outside. It's just very seldom I see Troughton that somber and serious. And when he's like, do not go outside, I loved that. He's such a good actor. And then I think when they do go outside, it's really neat how they're conned into going outside, because that does tell you there's some very intelligent and very powerful entity at work. Not only does it trick them outside, but it's causing the Doctor pain, where he's having to use all of his power to keep it at bay in the TARDIS. When you see him, must fight. Must fight. So this is obviously an intelligent entity and a very powerful entity. And I like how well the outside void is realized. It does. It looks like a void, a blank space. I think that's utilized very well. I think this episode works really well in black and white. I do think there are stories from the 60s that really, really use the fact they're in black and white to really great degree. There are some stories in 60s who I don't think you ever need to colorize, just because they work in the black and white as a medium so much better. And this is one of them. I just love that white background. And I like the little robotic creatures that are in that void. Since they're also that same shade of white, they blend in so well that Jamie and Zoe don't even see them at first. They're blending in so well. It's not until the robots kind of surround them they notice them. I find it a little amusing when Jamie's like, we're not lost, we're, I think we're lost. I found that amusing. And I like when Zoe had to slap him to snap him out of it when he thought he saw Scotland. And I like when the Doctor does step out of the TARDIS itself looks white, and then Jamie and Zoe's outfits have changed where they look white, and the Doctor has to, get them back into the TARDIS. And just when he thinks he's got the TARDIS activated and getting away, the fact they're still haunted by that sound, that very unnatural sound. And again, that adds to the surrealness of the episode. That sound sounds very unnatural. I also forgot to mention, but that little static noise the robots make, I really like that noise. Again, a very unnatural noise. Not even like synthetic, like a machine would. So, technical difficulties. I was talking about the signal that the robots make. It does, even though it doesn't sound just like synthetic, like a machine would make, it does sound very otherworldly, like it would be something from another dimension. It's a very staticky sound, but with something else added in. I really liked it. I was really impressed with it. But I also liked the noise it was making in the TARDIS. And I love the scene when the Doctor's trying to get away and he's asking Zoe to read him the numbers. Because, again, he's kind of frantic, but it's like this serious frantic, not this pretend that he does when he's manipulating his enemies. Love Troughton. You know, it's just that very serious. Oh no, read the numbers, Zoe. Oh, I absolutely love it. Love it. And then just seeing it get worse and worse and that noise build, and then that ending. I got to say, I think that's one of the best Doctor Who cliffhangers. I love it, just watching the TARDIS spinning at those odd angles with that music, and then just seeing it break apart. Just break apart and float away like in space. That is such a cool shot. And then seeing the TARDIS just spinning in nothingness with Jamie and Zoe on it, and that had to be done on purpose shot of Zoe on the spinning TARDIS when you can see her posterior. That can't be an accident, especially with that outfit she has on. Not that I'm complaining, that is a wonderful shot, but it can't be an accident. And seeing them all, you know, kind of, it's the Doctor! And it shows that picture of Troughton when he's just kind of, looks like the camera's panning around him or he's turning, as it looks like he's just concentrating. And then you have that final shot of the TARDIS kind of drifting away with like smoke covering it up. You know, it's kind of drifting away into like smoke. You know, the incidental music there, again, is just adds to what's going on. And that's the best way to describe it. The whole episode, but especially that ending, has such a surreal quality to it. You can tell they're in a different dimension, a kind of fantasy dimension where the normal laws and rules of time and physics and all that just don't apply. And it pulls that off really well. It's really impressive, the concept that seems to be going on in this story, or the concepts that seem to be going on in the story, and how well it's realized on a classic Doctor Who budget, a 60s classic Doctor Who budget. I think it takes a less is more approach, a very minimalist approach, and I think that works really well here. I really liked that cliffhanger. Again, while going through the story, there were parts I liked that I wasn't quite engaging with it, but that ending really hooked me. It's really got me excited to move on to episode 2 and see what I'm going to think of that. So that's what I think of episode 1 so far. That ending's really got me dug into the story. I'm really looking forward to jumping into episode 2 and seeing what happens next. Definitely a surreal quality to this story that I'm really enjoying. So that's my thoughts on that. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button. Definitely looking to grow the channel. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers. And I would like as much help with that as possible if you enjoy what I do. I also have a Patreon channel. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support what I do, if you like what I do. There is a link to that down in the description below, so where you can get access to exclusive content. I have ranked the Doctors recently. That is a patron exclusive, a series of 5 videos. I also have bloopers, outtakes, polls, all sorts of fun stuff there for people to look at. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.